Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato sama sambuddhassa. Okay. Yeah, welcome back. So, as a lesson 13, we are going to learn about the Mahali Sutta today. Mahali Sutta. So this Mahali is the name of prince in Vesali country. Although this is named as Mahali, actually this talking about one prince of Vesali who is called Sunakada. Sunakada. We will see who is it later. And here in English, the name is given heavenly sight, soul and body. So this sutta consists of two parts talking about the heavenly sight and sound related to the Prince Sunakada or Vesali. So the Mahali was a prince of Prince Sunakada, and he asked some question related to his prince Sunakada. And the next part, after learning about what the answer of the Buddha for his question, and he further asked the next question. So to answer his second question, the Buddha taught the practice. So in today's study, we will focus on the past part. Okay, let's see. So this is the introduction, talking about how this sutta was preached, the related story. So now we have already studied the five sutta already. So this is number 6 sutta. You may learn and the structure of the sutta. So before the Buddha preached Dhamma, and we learn when this sutta is preached and where the location where the Buddha preached, and whose are the audience, and what happened. This is introduction part. After that, we learn the Buddha's teaching, how the Buddha described his teaching. Then how's the effect or the result come after the Buddha's teaching, like this. So this sutta also, while the Buddha was staying at Vesali is one of the country during the time of the Buddha, and it's become powerful, developing their power during the time in their unity, in their strength of unity. Then there is the giver hall, living at the giver hall in the great forest. So this is the one of the Buddha's residential in Vaisali. The Buddha usually live near the forest, so prefer the forest monastery. So normally, the Buddha's monasteries are sometimes the inside the forest or just between the forest and city. So here, the Gabriel Hall is one of the monastery, one of the temple recited by the Buddha. Then here the first group, there will be two groups come to the Buddha. This is the first group. The large number of emissary, so emissary, the diplomatic Brahmins from the Kosala and Magadha. These are the emperor Kosala and Magadha at the time, a very powerful country. But the power of Vaisali is growing up. That's why they like to make the diplomatic connection with the Vaisali. So the Brahmins were arriving at the Vaisali and staying for their business or the diplomatic affairs. During the time, the Buddha arrived at Vaisali and resided at the Gabriel Hall. So they also already heard about the Buddha is a good rapport as usual. We have learned in former suttas. Good report about the Arahat, Sama, Sambuddha, Vichacharana, Sampanna, etc., the 9 virtues of the Buddha, spreading out the whole country. Then also the same expression come. The Buddha is teaching so to the different kinds of living beings using his own knowledge. So not just thinking. The Buddha enlightened himself under the Bodhi tree and started to preach. Then he preached his discourses by his own knowledge. And this also already well known. Then his quality of Dhamma are appreciated in every part of beginning, middle, and end. All the parts are nice and lovely. Then these Dhamma talking about the fully perfect way of life, the way of purify holy life. So not just talking about the development of country or contemporary welfare or something. It's talking about the purified holy life. This is the Buddha is virtues or honors spreading around the country. So by that reason, he is regarded as it is good to see such kind of arhat person. So having heard about the good reports of the Buddha, the Brahmins from Kosala and Magadha, they were willing to see the Buddha. And they gather and approach to the Buddha's residence, so Gabriel Hall in the great forest of Vaisali. At that time, they went to the Buddha after lunchtime. So they approached to the Buddha's personal attendant. Normally, this is well known for Ananda, the cousin of the Buddha. But before the Brahma Ananda take that position, the different monks, like this Brahma Nagita, they were taken. So this time is before the Brahma Ananda taking the position of personal attendant. So Brahma Nagita was the Buddha's personal attendant. The Brahmin group approached to the personal attendant Brahma Nagita and asked for permission to see the Buddha. And by their request, the Brahma Nagita should report to the Buddha to let them see. But that time, after lunch, the Buddha was in solitary area, solitary lodging, as a meditation, taking rest, enter into the attainment and relax their physical body by the meditation. Actually, if he report and he can see, they can see the Buddha at that time, but the Brahma Nagita, as mentioned in commentary, was pretty healthy and fat. So now convenient to move around after lunch. So he delayed and he let them wait there. This is not the right time to see the Buddha after lunch, just after lunch. The Buddha is residing in solitary meditation, so you have to wait. Anyway, the Brahmin, they are really willing to see the Buddha. Okay, we will wait, and after seeing the Brahma Gautama, and we will go. So they wait. Then second group came, led by the Ottata Lichavi. So this Lichavi is the position of the prince. So Ottata, here Ottata is tuwa. Otta is lip, and Ada is half. So he seemed have only half lips. I mean, his lips are short. But actually, his personal name is Mahali. But everybody call him Ottata because of his appearance. Actually, in this age, maybe people will consider this is a kind of, I want to say that, body shaming or something. But in that time in India, this is common. They give a nickname by their appearance. And also the person also they accept. Then he arrived leading a large company, a large member, bringing to the Buddha because he has a question. And he announced, I'm going to ask a question about this. And if you guys are interested in and join in my group. And a large number came with the Prince Mahali. Then he also asked him permission to see the Buddha, but Brahma Nagita still asked him, wait, this is not the right time. You also have to wait. And it become, by two groups, become a large number of people who are waiting to see the Buddha. Then the novice, in Pali it is called Samnira, before the higher ordination, that we call the novice. But this may be different from the we are living in Samnira, a novice English word. His personal name is Siha. He is the nephews of Brahma Nagita, and just a kid, 7 years old kids, he get ordination of Samnira. That's what, because he is under 19 or 20 years, so cannot get the higher ordination. He just Samanera. And he is really good Samanera and already familiar with the Buddha after ordained at the age of 7. He was ordained at the age of 7 and usually approach to the Buddha and asking questions and listen to the Dhamma. So already familiar to the Buddha. And he saw a large group of people came to see the Buddha. There will be a great Dhamma talk in this audience. The Buddha will do definitely, he thought, and with the intention to listen to the Buddha's teaching, he approached to the audience. But there's no Buddha. They were just waiting. So he reminded his uncle and teacher, Nagita. So it will be well to allow these people to see the Buddha. The people are coming to see the Buddha. Why are you letting them wait long? But Nagita also has his own reason. This is just after lunch. Buddha is in solitary. I also not that convenient, not that comfortable to move around after lunch, and so let them wait. Then the Reverend Nagita asked the Samnira Siha, oh, wow, so it is good you arrived here. You also already familiar to the Buddha. Why don't you report to the Buddha and the people are waiting and let them see the Buddha? So whenever by the order of Reverend Nagita, the Samnira Siha agreed, okay, I will go and report to the Buddha. Then, and the Buddha asked the Samnira Siha to prepare the seat in the shade of dwelling. So there is dwelling, residential or residential building. But because this is the afternoon, so there is a shade. The Buddha normally accept the people when they come from the different place, different region to see the Buddha and accept them to that kind of area. Then the Samnira Siha also following the Buddha's instruction, and then he prepared the seat of the Buddha, and the Brahmins and the group leader by the Mahali prince, they all approached to the Buddha and sat down. The Mahali Ottada prince, he has a question talking about related to his friend Sunakata. So not long ago, the Sunakata came to the Mahali and asked him about his experience by following the Buddha for 3 years. So Sunakata, he ordained as a bhikkhu, as a monk, and he followed to the Buddha. Sometimes he was taking the position of personal attendant wherever the Buddha go, and he followed. And he served. He gave his service to the Buddha, and he practiced under the Buddha's instruction for 3 years. Within 3 years, he has achieved, which is called divine eye. Divine eye. By that, he could see the heavenly sights, pleasant, delightful, and intense, and very attractive, beautiful, the heavenly visible form. So maybe the deities and the beautiful mansion in the Deva realms. He could see, but he could not hear the heavenly sound. He just see the silent movie like this. And also in this human realm, he could see something far away from his place, but he could not hear. And he was really willing to have the power of divine ear to listen the sound, heavenly or earthly, the pleasant, delightful, and enticing, because the appearance of maybe the Trimideva deities and some in celebration in the Deva realm, he saw by the divine eye, but he could not hear any sound. What are they talking about? What kind of music they are playing? That must be very delightful or pleasant to match their appearance. But he could not hear. Then he asked the Buddha to instruct him how to practice to attain the divine eye achievement, divine eye power. Divine ear powers, divine sort of power. Then the problem is he does not have ability to attain the divine ear power because, as the commentary explained, he has the problem, the gamma, we call it gamma, the action done in the former lives, in the past life, we don't know when, but he has that kind of unwholesome action blocking his progress to attain the divine ear. The action is in one life in the past. He made the unwholesome action to cause the virtuous monk to turn to the depth, to destroy the sense of hearing. By his action, the virtuous monk lost his hearing power, hearing sense, turned to the depth. So by that unwholesome karma, although he tried to practice, but actually the Buddha didn't give instruction how to practice for the divine ear power. Because the Buddha see this karma is blockage for him. Buddha could not help to be in progress for divine ear. By that reason, when he asked for instruction for divine ears practice, Buddha didn't give him. Then he could not develop divine ear power to listen the heavenly sound. Then he was getting angry with the Buddha for that reason. And although the Buddha asked him, forget about the divine ear's power, and so trying to practice the other achievement. So there are so many ways of meditation or achievement. Not only divine ear's power, and if you practice, and there are many meditation methods, but for him, to listen the heavenly sound, this is so much attractive for him. And he just interested in heavenly sound or practice to hear that. Then he's not satisfied with the Buddha's further instruction. Then he disrobed. So after 3 years, he disrobed. So let's see what kind of person Sunakata. Before he left the Buddha and the community of the monk, Distro, he reported to the Buddha, I'm going to Distro, I'm going to leave you. I will not regard you as the teacher anymore. He just, directly report to the Buddha. He's such kind of person. Because he is really so much attracted in the heavenly sound, and if we later on we will learn about him more, because some sutta mention about him from the beginning. So Majjhima Nikaya 105 sutta or Majjhima Nikaya by his name Sunnakata Sutta mention how Sunnakata approached to the Buddha. Also, we will learn in the Majjhima Nikaya when we reach there. And at that time, and in Vesali Buddha Sasana, the teaching of the Buddha, Buddhism just started. Then many bhikkhu joined to the Buddhism practice, and they had attained the enlightenment up to the Arhat level. And the Sunnakata heart, many already attained the Arhatship. Is it really true or not? And he approached to the Buddha whether these bhikkhu are really reporting their achievement or they are just cheated. And the Buddha answered, yes, they really attain that kind of meditation achievement, because there's the way how to practice. And the Buddha mentioned, then at that time, he was really delighted by the Buddha's teaching, and he rejoiced. Then he asked for permission to ordain. Then he has ordained and practiced 3 years. Then just attained the divine eye, not attain the divine ears, and getting angry, did so. Before he did so, in the bhikkhu life, and Tika Nikaya 24 Sutta of Tika Nikaya, and which is called Patika Sutta. There, we can learn he is what kind of person. In that sutta, the Buddha was talking with a wanderer and what kind of ascetic, which is called the Bhagavad Gita. Then talking about the Sunnakata. Sunnakata, he also reported he's going to let the Buddha because this and that. His reason is he was insisting the Buddha to display supernatural power. So he really challenged to the Buddha, Buddha, you already claim this kind of position to be a great teacher and then holding the great power. So you should display supernatural power in the audience, at least to me. But the Buddha rejected to him. This is not my business. I didn't ask you, I didn't promise you, if you become my follower, I will display supernatural power to you or something. I didn't talk to you. I didn't promise. So this is not my business. Also, because the Buddha already see, his personalities, he's such kind of person which is the unsteady person or wavering, and interested in the superficial skills and things around, not really interested in the Buddhist way of practice to remove the mental defilements for the achievement of enlightenment. This is the core practice of the Buddhism. But for Sunnakata, he just interested to see the heavenly side or heavenly sound. These are just superficial. But he was keep asking the Buddha to display this kind and that kind, although in some case the Buddha already disclosed him. The Buddha, he has supernatural power, and reading his mind, even to the Sunakada's mind, the Buddha read and talk what he is thinking about or something like that. We will learn in the Nika 24 Sutta how it happened. And also the Buddha predicted about one ascetics, he will die definitely when, and he will be reborn where, like this. So for the next side also the Buddha already he predicted. But for Sunakada, he could not satisfy by this way of expression. He just keep trying to ask to the Buddha for the display of the supernatural power. And also he was really such kind of guy, making something wrong against the Buddha, although he was adding by himself as personal attendant of the Buddha. But when we learn about his action, he always support the other side and against the Buddha. Even, he gave information, and when the Buddha predict, oh, this person is going to die when and by what reason, then he approached to that person to remind that you have to be extra careful, so that what the Buddha predicted now comes true. I mean, he liked to accuse and criticize the Buddha by telling lie something. Yeah, he is that kind of person. This is the story of Sunakada. So in another sutta or Majjhima Nikaya 12, which is called Mahasihanada Sutta, after the Sunakada left the Buddha, he was talking about the dispraising war of the Buddha in the assembly of Vesali. This is the personal expression to his friend, but in the assembly, in the audience of Vesali, the Sunakada was talking there. Oh, I already left the Buddha. I am no more the follower of the Buddha, because the Buddha does not have the supernormal power or supernatural knowledge or supramundane achievement. There's nothing. He was just teaching by way of thinking, or just a kind of, I would say, the philosophy or something. And he just talked by the logical reason or something, not because of his attainment. He has nothing like this. He was keep talking in the assembly of Lechowi, talking, disgracing to the Buddha. Then in the Mahasihanada Sutta, Majjhima Nikaya 12, we can learn about that. And the Buddha explained when the Venerable Sariputta report about this, and Sunakada is such kind of person. Don't worry, he just talk in this way. But after learning, he is such kind of person. The people will not believe him. Also, the Buddha's virtue is not here and there, this and that, already be and established in many areas. His personal problem is he could not attain the divine ear power to listen the heavenly sound, which is he really found to listen, really love to listen. Then The question of Mahali is are there any such heavenly sound which Sunakata could not hear, or are there not? I mean, the Mahali really wish to know, it is because of his ability, the problem of lack of his ability, or there's no sound at all. He wants to know. And the Buddha answered, there are such kind of heavenly sound. If the person have ability, if he has ability, or if you have ability, you can listen the kind of heavenly sound. But if you don't have ability, you cannot listen. But such kind of sound is really is it. So then the Mahali asks, what is the reason? If the sound is really there is a sound, there are the sounds of heavenly sound. Why the Sunnakala cannot hear them? Although he liked to listen, and even he could see the heavenly side. Why he could not? This is the question. Then the Buddha answer for his question. This is not a short question. He needs to explain about the concentration. By that, the heavenly sight can be seen and heavenly sound can be heard. So these are we call the supernatural power. Those can be attained through the concentration practice to the certain level. So to see the heavenly sight, which is called Divachaku, Abhinya, supernatural power of divine eye. So one has to practice concentration meditation up to the attainment of 4 jhana in the sutta expression, or in Abhidhamma is called 5th jhana. But it doesn't matter. Just keep in mind to the highest level of jhana attainment through the concentration practice. So he needs to focus on the certain object, establishing the concentration. Then when he could focus on the right object of meditation for a certain period of time with the certain qualities of meditation, meditative mind, concentration, then he needs to practice until the attainment of 1st jhana, after the 2nd jhana, 3rd jhana, and 4th jhana. Then he needs to learn how to develop the preliminary practice for the attainment of supernatural power of divine eyes, and making determination. I like to see such kind of heavenly sights or earthly sight far from here, and he needs to make a preparation period by the power of jhana. If a person cannot attain the jhana, forget about it, but cannot see. But nowadays, we can see by far by using internet, like this. At that time, and they don't need internet connection. And if they have the psychic power or meditative power, and they could see far away. And this is called the divine eyes power. Similarly, for those who like to listen the divine heavenly sound, heavenly sound to listen, he need to practice up to the attainment of high jhana, and then need to prepare and make determination and become skillful, and he can be able to listen the heavenly or earthly sound far from his place. And so the Buddha mentioned that the different kinds of concentration, which is called samadhi. So here, one-sided and two-sided. So one-sided, first of all, one-sided. So in one case, not only Sunakata, a person, everyone, a meditator, even he practiced facing the east, going into one side of samadhi to see the heavenly side, only the heavenly side, and not develop to hear the heavenly sound. So he chooses certain direction, specific direction of east, and also his aim is to see the heavenly side only, not to hear the heavenly sound. If he develops such kind of one-sided concentration, by that power of concentration, he can see the heavenly side in the east. But he could not hear heavenly sound because the practice did not aim to listen the sound. This is called one-sided samadhi. The reason is that sometimes, the person like the Sunakata, he can develop only one-sided because he's not skillful and he has not achieved such level to hear the heavenly sound in any direction. But here, if anybody trying to practice to achieve this kind of supernatural power, and at the beginning he need to make decision to certain direction and also the aim to listen or to see or like this. So after that facing south or west or north, he developed the same thing, just to see the heavenly sound, to see the heavenly sight, not for hearing the heavenly sound. That person can only see the heavenly side, cannot hear heavenly sound because of the samadhi is limited. Concentration is limited. So this is one-sided. And another one-sided concentration is, in this case, he just make a determination with the aim to hear heavenly sound only. So for another person, he just developed the divine ears power and achieved. He didn't practice for divine eye power. And he just made this kind of one-sided concentration. And the same thing, any direction, east, south, west, north, upward, downward, across, wherever, according to his will or determination. He can hear only. He cannot see the side because his concentration is limited to be in one-sided. Then the third type of concentration is two-sided concentration related to the heavenly side or heavenly sound. I mean, to see or to hear. But in both skill, both ability, he has intention and also he has potential to see and to hear. For example, if we we were losing the hearing sense, and we just see, we don't hear. If we are losing our eyesight, and we cannot see and we just hear. For those not losing the sight or the hearing sense, any sense, to see or to hear, he can see and he can listen almost at the same time, because the mind, the frequency of mind is too fast to, if he, such kind of person, after the attainment of true power of divine eye and divine ear, if he like to hear in the east direction and divine or earthly sound in certain area, What are they doing? What kind of speaking they are talking? And they want to see and they want to listen, and in very short moment they can see and they can know, and they can move around the other direction like this. So this is called the two-sided concentration. But for Sunakada, he could attain only one-sided, number one type. That is why he could see, but he could not hear. He could not hear. And in this way, Buddha explained to the Prince Mahali or Uttata Mahali and his question, and he realized the reason why the Sunakada, although he could see the heavenly sight and he could not hear the heavenly sound. This is because of his ability. He could not develop the divine ears, not because of there's no divine sound. Okay, so then he learned, and he was really impressed by that kind of concentration. Oh, this is true. If anybody can develop this kind of concentration, one-sided or two-sided, there are the heavenly side or sound to see and hear. This will be very attractive and delightful. So he thought, in order to attain such kind of concentration or to realize such kind of samadhi, so even now, this in human realm, people are enjoying the concert or auditory something, the show. They spend a lot of money and time and effort on traveling very far to see. But in this case, sitting in his place, no need to go anywhere, can see very wonderful sights, or even heavenly sights, and listen the heavenly sound. So that must be the reason there are so many bhikkhus, so many monks following to the Buddha, because they like to attain such kind of power or such kind of realization of samadhi. Then they are living a holy life under the Buddha's instruction. The Mahalis were thinking and asked the Buddha about that. Then the Buddha rejected, no, this is not true situation. This is not right to say that. And there are other things. This is just, we can say the superficial compared to the next step of achievement. Only superficial achievement only. So there are other things higher and more perfect than these. For Mahali and for Sunakada, this is a great achievement. Really can be satisfied by that achievement. But for those really follow to the Buddha and practice in the holy life, the aim and goal is not such small thing or such as superficial. And it's higher reason, higher achievement, more perfect than to see the heavenly sight and to hear the heavenly sound. But there are many profound achievement or higher achievement. The reason, that can be the reason the monks live in the holy life and under me. So Mahali interested in that stages of achievement, even higher than what he can learn. So what are they? He asked the question. Well, we will study the answer of the Buddha. What are the higher and more perfect achievement than they see the heavenly sight and heavenly sound. So next week, in the next lesson, in lesson 14, we will learn. So in this lesson, we have learned about the Sunnakata, talking about the Sunnakata, and also we can learn, and there can be such kind of person trying against to the Buddha and disgracing to the Buddha after they left. So, and that the way of thinking of Sunnakata is he also a prince, and the Buddha was as a prince before he became a Buddha. He was a Prince Siddhartha. So I'm also royal prince, come from royal family. If I practice, I achieve the same level of the Buddha. He was thinking in this way. He was thinking. So if I could attain in the spiritual development in the same level of the Buddha. So he was thinking, and when he asked for the instruction to attain the divine ear, and the Buddha rejected by the lack of his potential or the blockage after listening, and he will practice, and he may not attain because of the unwholesome karma is blocked. Then, so if he could not attain also, he will do the same thing. He gave this kind of instruction, I practice well, but I could not attain. He was lying like this. He will make the same conclusion, maybe worse than he did. That is the reason the Buddha didn't instruct him how to practice. And the Buddha reminded him in different way and trying to keep him in the right way. Finally, even the Buddha cannot train him to be in the proper way of thinking. He went to the wrong way of conclusion, and he left the Buddha and was talking about the Buddha's, dispraising word of the Buddha in the audience. Finally, so this is the story of Sunnakata, and we could learn even, the Buddha has that kind of opposite people or disgracing follower. What about ourselves? So we also can have such kind of friends, such kind of college in our community. So we should try to accept and try to deal with such kind of problem other than getting angry and fighting each other. So then another lesson I think we can take is sometimes if we are not qualified enough, we cannot have the same experience with the other. Then we should not make the wrong conclusion. If I cannot have this experience, the other talking about that a lie or telling lie or something like this. So we have to understand our potential, our ability, or sometimes our effort. So if although we don't have such kind of blockage or already have the potential to attain the jhana or to attain the supernatural power of different kinds, but if we don't make proper effort to attain, we could not reach. And if we are making something wrong in the way of practice, also we could not reach. So if we are not reaching to that level, and we should learn, we should appreciate their achievement and encourage ourselves so that one day we could attain. Well, so I'm going to stop my speak here, and thank you very much for your attention and participation. Yeah, sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Thank you, Sayadaw, very much for your teaching.